Hey, back in early edge. I'm Eric Casillas. Let's go NFL, right? Props are out, drafts behind us, and there's some interesting ones. I'm going to get to NFL MVP. I have a play there, but let's go Rookie of the Year, the OROY and the DROY, as I like to call it, and we'll start with the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Interesting sort of numbers on this as you take a look. Caleb Williams, pretty short number there. Jaden Daniels. And then you have Marvin Harrison Jr., J.J. McCarthy, interesting, right? Malik Neighbors, 6th overall pick to the Giants. Drake May up in New England. If you think he's going to be good, like that team's not going to be as bad as they were last year. Where's the value? What do you like? Alex Selznick, you are first.
I absolutely love Jaden Daniels, EK, especially at 9-1 odds. I think this is such a good landing spot for Daniels. Love his dual threat versatility. He's going to be able to immediately make an impact as a rusher. And I just love what the Commanders did in the offseason, and their draft was fantastic as well. They added one of the premier receiving running backs in Austin Eckler. That's going to be a quarterback's best friend. They add Ben Sinnott, the rookie tight end, as well out of Kansas. Luke McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey's younger brother, who looks like he's going to be a very good receiver in this league. You already have Jahan Dotson. You have Terry McLaurin. You add a veteran tight end in Zach Ertz. So lots of weapons at his disposal. I also think the defense might put them into a lot of high-scoring environments. So I think Jaden Daniels is going to rack up a ton of passing yards and rushing yards as well. And I could see this Commanders team winning a couple more games than they won last year. We know this is slightly narrative-driven, so I think that'll be in his favor as well. Just love what Jaden Daniels brings to the table. Love the price here at 9-1 odds as well.
Yeah, look, if you shop, you can get 9-1, mostly 9-1 in the market, plus 900, and I'm with you. That's where I went. And you said it's narrative-driven, and it is. It's also stat-driven, which is in part, these go hand in hand. And I think that his game lends itself to put up stats as a rookie. One, he can give you stats with his legs. Two, he's going to be able to throw it too. He's 6'4". He's kind of a dual guy. And I think that this is a team that is likely to be chasing a lot. And look, even if they're not, if they're not chasing a lot, it's because they're good. And if they're good and not chasing a lot, he's going to get credit for them being good. And if they're bad and they're chasing a lot, he's going to get a lot of garbage points, right? And garbage points count. In this case, yards, touchdowns, but fantasy points, whatever you want to call them, they count. And when you look at this team and how they play and this offensive coordinator and what they want to do, they put it on the quarterback and say, go get it done, son. He's going to start from day one. So he's going to, at the end of the year, his numbers are going to look good. And this is a narrative-driven, as you said, numbers-driven, as I say, sort of award. I'm shocked he's 9-1. I actually would make him the shortest odds because I think he's going to have the most opportunity. Michael, are you making this unanimous, or is there another way to see it?
It's not unanimous for me, but I do love Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to have a fantastic season. But I think the value lies in J.J. McCarthy. You guys both mentioned a narrative base here. What better narrative is there than getting to face Caleb Williams twice this season and a front runner in the MVP race in terms of emerging talent in Jordan Love? He gets to show down with 4 matchups between these two guys right here, and he gets to throw to the unquestioned best wide receiver in the National Football League in a dome, in a controlled environment for a lot of those games, because, again, he gets to play the Lions. That's also a dome game on the road. I think this is a great spot to back McCarthy if he's able to win the starting job, which I think he will be able to do, because this team's going to be just good enough to play a ton of very, very competitive football games that are going to let him put up stats. You watch what they were able to do with essentially nobody at quarterback last year. Now they're bringing in the talent that really wants to rally around him. I'll take a shot here on J.J. McCarthy at 14-1.
And look, we don't have a schedule release yet, but J.J. McCarthy could be playing December games indoors. Caleb Williams could be playing outside. And depending on how it falls, both guys are going to have to go to Green Bay. What if J.J. McCarthy gets to go in September and Caleb Williams has to go in December? Weather could factor in, and you're getting a long shot now. You could bet both of our guys. Half unit, 2/3 one way, 1/3 the other way, and cash big if either get it done. So those are some offensive rookie of the year options for you. All right, let's go defensive rookie of the year. It's always a little harder. always a little harder. Now, interesting. Yesterday, Mackenzie Brooks pointed out, and I like to give credit where credit is due, that the last 7 winners were on defenses that were 27th or worse when they got there. So at least lately, you're trying to find a bad defense that's not going to be as bad this coming year. Maybe there's another way to see it, though, if there's not sort of one that fits in. Defensive Rookie of the Year, where do you want to go here? Mike, you get to go first here.
Quinyon Mitchell here. I think the Eagles fit that narrative. I think they struggled mightily defensive last year, and they're going to improve. I loved what they did in the draft, really focusing on that side of the ball. But Quinyon Mitchell is so talented. I think he's going to start from week 1. He's going to play opposite of Darius Slay. That's where I think that this is going to be the value. He gets a matchup with top-tier wide receivers and playing on a team that's very likely to win a lot of football games. It never hurts to be on a team that's actually getting the job done winning. But Nick Saban, what better endorsement is there than Nick Saban essentially admitting to tampering during the college football season, trying to get this kid to enter the transfer portal, drastically undervalued because of where he played his college football. I'll take Mitchell here 12-1.
I like Nick Saban when he goes and recruits, like in The Blind Side. The Windsor balances are a nice touch. When he's in the living room, getting it done, Sandy B, talking to Michael Orr, that kind of stuff. All right, so Mike's on the Eagles. Alex, I see the Eagle helmet over your left shoulder, far in the distance. Is that where you are too, or is there somewhere else?
That's exactly where I'm going, EK. My dear friend and very intelligent colleague hit the nail on the head with Quinyon Mitchell. I had Quinyon Mitchell rated as the top defensive prospect in the draft. He should have been a top 10 pick, in my opinion. Certainly, the talent warranted that. Could not have found a better landing spot than the Philadelphia Eagles. Mike mentioned he has a clear path to starting as well. I believe James Bradbury will be a post-June 1st designation. He'll be cut from this team, opening the ability for Quinyon to start on the outside, opposite of Darius Slay. I also think this Eagles defense was terrible down the stretch last year. Having gone 10-1 in their first 11 games, you could really blame the defense as being the biggest reason why the team fell apart, particularly the secondary. So there's certainly a lot of narrative there as well. I just love what he offers as far as his his hips. He just looks a lot like Sauce Gardner to me. I think he's going to come in and make an instant impact. He also has a little gamble in him as well, which could lead to 4 or 5 interceptions, which you certainly need to win this award. You need to accumulate some stats here. So I love Quinyon Mitchell. I think he's going to start on a much improved Eagles defense, and I think he's going to be a big reason why this Eagles defense improves. And I love him here at 11-1 odds.
Yeah, none of us picked edge rushers or interior guys. I picked a corner too, and my rationale is the same in a lot of ways that you guys picked, but I just picked a different one. And I like Nate Wiggins, and this is a really deep play. I mean, I'm at plus 2,500. But look, he's the first round pick of the Ravens. He's going to start from day one, which is important. They're going to throw it at him. He's going to have a chance to accumulate some stats. Talk about that. Checks box number 2. We know the Ravens coach up their guys, and their scheme is going to be good. That's checkbox number 3. And if this guy, he could end up leading the Ravens in like passes defended, interceptions, and pick sixes, and they could be a top 5 defense because they're going to throw it at him a lot. And he's a good player. He has an opportunity to steal this award if he's really good. And at that number, I can't look away. So give me the plus 2,500.